Welcome to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast, connecting real people with expert advice to achieve a healthier lifestyle and live a more fulfilling and abundant life. Here is your host, Coach Tavia.
Hello, Sharik. Happy Tuesday.
It is a great Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited to be talking to you today, and I have a ton of questions, of course, that I want to explore about the fabulous REZZIMAX that I just got my hands on here recently. Let's see, I've had it we talked not even 2 weeks, and I'm seeing some pretty remarkable things happening with myself and some patients that are coming through my door. So first of all, I guess let's just talk about what is this little REZZIMAX thing? I guess, what is it? And a little background information so people know what are we talking about today? This funky little instrument. Because if you saw it on the street, you'd be like, what the heck is this?
My background is I'm a physical therapist, and I have a master's degree in counseling. And over the years, we've been creating this little REZZIMAX Tuner Pro into a device that goes in and helps you settle down, calm down your brain, and also teaches your brain how to hold itself at a better state of functioning. It's essentially a vagus nerve stimulator. And the vagus nerve is in charge of getting you into a healthy, healing, happy state, and helping you breathe and keep your heart beating for the rest of your life. And by working on that nerve, we find that a lot of chronic pain, a lot of chronic illnesses, they tone down their fires. You know, if you have a lot of energy management issues, it helps you to be able to start controlling that better, and for the most part, sleeping better, and recovering better from all of life.
Sure. Yeah, I know. I've noticed I've been doing it on myself, at nighttime, right before I go to bed, and I've been sleeping pretty good. Like, it puts me to sleep pretty quickly. I've noticed that. And I know the vagus nerve is a big deal. A lot of people are like, what the heck's a vagus nerve? And I've done a lot of research and a lot of reading about the vagus nerve since my own Lyme disease condition that I have and that I've struggled with. And I know the vagus nerve can get inflamed, if you will, can get, what's another word I want to say? Constricted, and it can get damaged even, right? And the vagus nerve, doesn't it run from the brainstem basically up here, and it goes all the way down to basically the belly? Is that correct? Kind of towards
and even before you start going down to all the belly and everything, if you think about the things that it does up here in the head, it's just astounding, because it goes to your pituitary gland.
Right.
It has a very important role in helping modulate chemicals throughout the body. Goes to your pineal gland. Yeah. We're not exactly sure what the pineal gland does, but it does something with the emotions and a lot of wonderful regulation of body processes as well. But it also goes to your inner ear, and it goes to a part of your tongue. So this vagus nerve is about 2/3 of it is just sensory seeking. It's trying to get input from everything happening in our environment, what we hear, what we taste, what we smell, and it's helping modulate information to give the brain a sense of how we are in relationship to the rest of the world. Are we safe, or are we in a battle situation? The vagus nerve is constantly scanning to help us know if we should elevate the heart rate and breathing, or if we should be able to calm down and have a good night's sleep. Yeah. And so it's such a remarkable nerve. Goes to your thyroid gland, goes to your parathyroid glands, and your thymus, and I mean every major organ, your intestinal tract, all your female parts, all your male parts. This nerve is so fascinating in what it does to help us heal and keep us functioning. Well, one of the neatest things about it is that your vocal cords are a direct branch of that nerve. And since your vocal cords vibrate, it makes this tool a remarkable device to help fix the brain, to help tune, if you will, the central nervous system, because we use those vocal cords as a point to tune the device to, or tune your body to the device to help you function at a higher level.
I remember seeing something about, that the tuner is like mimics like a cat purring.
Yeah, it actually does. We have a cat, and we have a love-hate relationship with our cat. I think people do, for the most part.
I have two.
They're remarkable creatures, but they're very funny.
Yes.
One thing that is not disputed in the literature, in research, is that the purring of a cat has some remarkable benefits. And we find that people who have high anxiety oftentimes they find such benefit by holding a cat that's purring. And we also find in research that if you've broken a bone and we surround it with the frequency of a cat purr, your bone speeds up healing by about 66%.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah. For years, for centuries, for millennia, I don't know, we have thought that cats have 9 lives. And in part, it's because they use their vagal tone, their own humming, purring mechanism, is their vagal tone accentuated. So they can use they can use their purring mechanism to help them heal, to help their little babies heal, and to help others heal. There are all kinds of stories of, if you've got children and you have a cat, the cat tends to come and just stay right with that child if the child's not feeling well.
Yeah.
Or if we're, having a panic attack, that cat will oftentimes just come and adhere itself to us. Well, we just took all of the beautiful things about that harmonic range of a cat purr, and took all the things that we don't like dealing with a cat, like the litter box and the fur balls and their attitude. Yeah. And we took those away, and we just said, okay, let's take the energy range of that cat purr. And that's what we harmonically designed into this, engineered into our device. So you probably notice, even from the first time that you started using it, as soon as you begin humming to the device, it's like your nervous system opens up and says, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. Yeah. But it's because that harmonic range is a beautiful healing level for the central nervous system.
Right. I know quite a bit about the nervous system, the fight or flight reaction. I know a lot about that, just learning in my own journey with Lyme disease, and then in my own coaching, in my own world, I know quite a bit about that. And so that's what kind of drew me to this REZZIMAX thing, because I knew how the importance of vibrations, right, are in our world. We're all energy, we're all light, right? So this really connected with me when I saw this. It was actually another coach friend of mine, and she was on Instagram, and she got this from her chiropractor down in Florida. Can't remember his name, but I'm sure you know him because you sold it to him. But anyways, and she had it in her mouth, and I had just had some jaw surgery done. I've had TMJ issues, had a lot of inner mouth issues. And so I was like, what is that, Dana? And she was telling me about it. And I was like, and the more and more I did the research on YouTube I was like, sign me up. When you said vagal nerve, I was like, this is it. And then now the other things functions, and then like even on your legs, neuropathy. I have a toe from it's been damaged. My nerve got damaged from Lyme, because you can get nerve damage from Lyme disease. And this is some new information for you, but I put this on my toe. It was really hurting the other night. It's just one toe. And I put it like around the toe like this, wrapped it around it. Instantly, my pain went away. I was like nerve pain. It wasn't neuropathy. It was the pain. So I get the feet pain, and it went away like within minutes. So let's talk about that for a second. Talk about how this, fibromyalgia, we said MS, Lyme, all these autoimmune conditions, they're up on the rise. Let's be honest. There's so many people out there that are sick and stuff. And so let's talk about that and how this can change what you've seen maybe and what in other people's lives too, just your experiences.
Well, one of the things that all of those conditions have in common is poor functioning of that vagus nerve.
Yeah.
In fact,
right.
You'll see in the literature that vagus tone is low. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of autoimmune conditions and even cancers and other chronic diseases that step in. Mm-hmm. And when the tone is high, it keeps us from having so many of these chronic conditions. So in essence, the device is designed to help that system function better. Well, it is the best natural anti-inflammatory we have in the system. You see, the vagus nerve cues the brain, cues the nervous system, cues the immune system to act normally, to act appropriately, if you will. And so it tells it to send out the white blood cells and to fix all the problems that are going on in the body. If it detects that there's some wrong cells in a certain part of the body, it's going to cue the nervous system and the immune system to go in there and take care of it. Well, if that system is held low, it's not functioning very well, it allows all kinds of these chronic ailments to pop in. And that's what we're seeing is that we're seeing a bigger and bigger problem in our world with getting our vagus nerve to actually function well, to take care of us, to help us sleep and to help us regulate breathing. And really the reason for that is here's stress and here's experiences. Mm-hmm. And the two of those experiences and stress, post-traumatic stress, you've heard of that concept. Yeah. Those things, when they have happened to the body, they keep that vagus nerve from functioning very well.
Wow.
So the fight or flight mechanism is always going to trump health and healing.
Yeah. 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 Just like when you're being chased by a tiger, right? You're not thinking, oh, I'm hungry.
Or, I've got to digest my last meal.
Yeah, right. You gotta run from the tiger. Yeah, exactly. No, that makes perfect sense. And I'm thinking about like Lyme disease, because Lyme is a bacterial infection, right? So bacteria causes inflammation, but there's viral infections too. And then if we look at, Corona going on right now, the C word, what's happening right now, that's a viral infection too. Lord have mercy, like how many people are going to be affected by it, they call them the long haulers, right? The people that have had the side effects after and stuff. This would be a great instrument also, just for the viral stuff, component going on.
One of the things, and this is just absolutely fascinating. I don't know if you've tried this yet, but one of the techniques that we've developed with the device is just a way for the brain to reconnect with the rest of the system. And I think that's what we're seeing with a lot of these conditions, such as Lyme, such as the COVID-19 and the effects after that. We're seeing that the brain kind of, it says, well, part of me had this problem and I'm not sure what to do with it. So it kind of detaches the central nervous system from parts of us. And so one of the things that's been fascinating is to use the wings on the device, turn the device onto its highest setting, and scrape at your toes, scrape at your fingers. You talked about your Lyme's toe issue.
Yeah.
We find that this scraping process at our toes, at our fingers, and it's just a little bit tender.
Yeah.
We do it at our arms, our legs, clear up the arm, clear up the legs.
Okay.
And that scraping process tells the brain, whoa, I've got fingers and I've got toes. And all of a sudden it realizes that it's kind of become a little disconnected. This reconnects the nervous system. And that's why it helps people with peripheral neuropathy and why it helps people with restless leg syndrome and diabetic neuropathy is it helps the brain kind of reconnect and refocus energy on making sure that all parts of the body are getting the best care that it can provide.
Yeah. I mean, it's all interconnected, right? Yeah, that makes sense for sure. And like I mentioned, we're all energy. So that makes a lot of sense. That's amazing. Yeah. I didn't know about that.
Did you notice after you had done that technique on your toe, did you notice that even walking felt different because you could feel and sense your feet differently?
Totally. Oh yeah. The sensory. And then I'll put, both my feet like here, I'll do both the feet just underneath. Amazing. Yeah. The sensory. And then I just learned yesterday, actually one of the chiropractors, she was on one of your Instagram, you posted her, she was doing that on her baby, the doctor, the chiropractor, I forgot her name. But anyways, and she was doing this, on her baby. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what was going on with the baby, but I reached out to her and I was like, ooh, and she was talking about MTHFR gene and other things. But long story short, I was doing some more research about that and just the different points. So you don't have to do, obviously this is for head, blah, blah, blah. But this tool, it's so fascinating to me. It has the scraper and it has the little where you can put it on specific points, right? Mm-hmm. That are just needed. So I can just put that on my toe, just the point. Yep. I don't have to do the clamp thing. But so Sharik, you developed this. This was like your brilliant invention.
I don't know if it's brilliant or what, but I do hold 3 patents on it currently, and I guess my name's on the patents.
Yeah.
But I don't claim to be super smart or anything. I just knew that the world needed something that would help calm them down better. And so we've researched and I've experimented on thousands of patients until I could figure out the best ways and the best energy range for the tool to be able to help a variety of conditions.
Amazing. So what made you make this? Like, what did, tell me your background. Like, I mean, you're a physical therapist, right?
Yeah, I am. I've also had some chronic pain. I broke my neck when I was 2 and broke my back when I was 15.
Goodness.
I've been in a number of accidents and so I've got scars all over my body too.
Yeah.
And when I was 17, I suffered a stroke. Got to learn to walk again, ruptured one of the 4 arteries that go to my brain. So that created all kinds of problems. It was after all of this and after learning how to learn again that I went into physical therapy as a profession. But I have always been interested in how do we get the human body and brain back on track after it's had massive attacks and illness. So for years in my practice, and I've been a physical therapist for over 26 years, but I was having a difficult time fixing the hardest things. When people would come in a serious migraine headache, it seemed like I would take the tools at hand.
Yeah.
And my manual therapies and everything, I would try my best. And it seemed like we were lucky if they felt better. Mm. And sometimes I'd send them home and just say, you know what, let me know if you're doing better by tomorrow. Because I didn't know if any of the things that I did for them would actually be a tremendous help or not.
Sure.
But my own dear wife had terrible neck pains and spent years with us trying to find treatments, things to help her. Well, one day, as I'm poking and prodding, as I like to do, I found that her jaw was completely locked up. I pushed on a spot on her jaw and she levitated and screamed.
Yeah.
And I realized, wow, there's something there that has a real direct contact with the brain.
Yeah.
And so I started trying to figure out, okay, what is it that we can do that will help get the jaw to relax? So when we first started making this tool, we were just trying to get muscles to relax. And it was after years of research and trying to understand how does it help somebody relax, that we came to understand that the trigeminal nerve, what fires off the jaw, a complete opposite in the nervous system of the vagus nerve. that's where we came to this really cool understanding that has opened up the ability for our tool to help so many people. You see, when you calm down the fight or flight mechanism held in the TMJ, or in the temporal mandibular joints, the muscles there, when you calm that down, vagus nerve starts to function better. So you just feel pain relief, and your brain and body and your heart and your diaphragm and your intestinal tract says, thank you for taking the pressure off. But that pressure is very much controlled in that trigeminal system, that cranial nerve 5.
Yeah.
So we just,
wow.
People think that I'm kind of brilliant for coming up with this, but I think I just kind of started recognizing, okay, there's pressure points in the system, and if we can calm those down, oh, wow, look what else it affects.
Yeah.
And we started seeing
right.
and started being able to affect more and more and more conditions.
Yeah, amazing. So this is crazy. So I had jaw surgery last October. They found a little, so I had been having a lot of jaw problem, teeth problem, and it was kind of an unusual finding. I had it wasn't a cyst, it was a bone spur. And it was sitting like on the top of my joint, and it was like rubbing into my skull. It was they were kind of scary. I went to the University of Washington, had it removed, not cancerous. It was just a bone spur. But I've dealt with TMJ issues for years and grinding, and I've had night guards and things like that. So I've had, so now since that surgery, I have numbness right here, my trigeminal nerve. So I am really hopeful that by using this, I'm hoping we can stimulate some of this growth and hopefully stimulate some of this to come back, is my hope. But the secondary component of that is I've had a lot of vertigo issues, like dizziness. Mm-hmm. Like not so much spinning, but more like I'm just off. I feel like I'm rocking on a boat sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I've been really working on that with my doctors and things like that. And nothing, I've had an MRI, like nothing's wrong, but I know the vagus nerve plays a big part in that. And I know the inflammation plays a big part in that. So again, that's why this was a big seller to me too, because I was like, vagus nerve, vagus nerve, vagus nerve. I need to focus on that vagus nerve and relaxing that, because like you said, the inner ear, right? That the jaw and all of that is all related, right?
Very much.
Yeah. So have you seen some results with some vertigo issues?
Do we talk about what you could do right now?
Let's do it.
Tavia, that would help you to be able to resolve that.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. One of the first things that you will do is turn on the device. You'll remember that there are 4 algorithms on These are all patterns.
Yep.
Each of those patterns uses the resonant frequencies that we created and shoots them back into your nervous system in these pre-programmed waves. In essence, we take about 3,000 energy points and fire them back into your nervous system every few minutes so that your brain is getting a better calibration.
Wow.
So to start with, you would take and scrape the toes and the leg on your left side, all the way up to your hip.
Okay. On the outside or inside?
Try and hit every square inch of skin all the way up to your hip.
Okay.
So from the tips of the toes and inside of them, and you'll notice that some of those areas are super fired up. But you'll do that with the device on high because that'll take away more of the pain sensation. Okay,
so would that be the 4th setting or the 3rd setting? Which one?
So we won't turn it on a setting at all. We'll just push this top button until it goes to the very highest setting.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And that'll take away more of the discomfort.
Oh, wow. That's pretty high. Yeah. Okay.
And just scrape that area. The high intensity there actually helps the brain pay better attention to it. So it's helping it connect.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things we're doing here is working on your cerebellum on the left side.
Ooh, sore spot.
So your cerebellum controls your movements and fine-tunes your movements. And it also helps with coordination of proprioception and balance and all those important things, right?
Okay, that feels so good.
It's pretty remarkable. Without that turned on, it doesn't feel all that comfortable. But then we'll strap the device to your leg and have you go for a walk.
Really? Like on the back of my calf?
on the back of your calf or on the side of your calf. Strap it on there.
Okay.
Put the tongs on so that it kind of surrounds your leg.
Yep. Yep.
Use the black strap that came with the device.
Yep.
And strap that to your leg.
Okay.
Put it on probably the green algorithm.
Okay.
Twice so that it's on the green algorithm.
Okay.
And go for a 20 to 25-minute walk.
Okay.
So that your eyes are moving, your head is moving, and you're getting this increased calibration from your feet and toes. Calibration meaning we're sending lots of signals up to your brain through the cerebellum and up to the, especially to the right hemisphere of your top of your brain.
Okay.
This is going to help your brain get a calibration that will help the inner ear. And also, because you're working on your jaw muscles and taking that tension out of there, it will help recalibrate and reset the communication pathways from the tips of your toe all the way up.
Wow.
Now, in your particular case, because your jaw issues are on your left side, or more primarily, and the nerve damage is on your left side, by waking that up from your toes all the way up, and then going and doing something that's a normal activity like walking, your brain is going to get a significant amount of information that helps it reset itself so that it remembers what's up, what's down, what's right, what's left, and it helps it reset itself. It's kind of like rebooting the central nervous system, especially surrounding your left side there.
Okay. Is this something that I should be doing like every day then?
It probably wouldn't hurt. If you would do it every day for about a month, you would notice a significant improvement in quite a few areas of your balance, and that dizziness and everything would probably be completely resolved within 3 or 4 weeks here.
Yeah. And I'm a believer in what you're saying makes complete sense to me, because I know from what I understand, my signals are off. And I've noticed even with my eyes, like if I scroll like on my computer or my phone or something, I'll notice that I kind of get this whooshy feeling, like whoosh. So I'm like, that's not right. Something is, and this happened after the surgery, like something, excuse me, something got thrown off. And then the recalibrating is exactly what makes sense to me. That's what I feel like I need to be recalibrated.
So if you think of it, remember these cranial nerves are so important in the sensory processing of the brain. It's giving all kinds of information about what's happening in our environment. And you have numbness in one of your major nerve sections that all it does is try and figure out if you should be in fight or flight or panic or running. And so you're getting constant bombardment of messaging into the center of the brain saying something's weird. I used to sense things. I don't sense them anymore. I can't quite feel right. It doesn't. And you know, there's this constant barrage of messaging that the brain is getting saying something's strange. Yeah. And that throws off all these other senses because your brain's not supposed to get that messaging. It's getting an error message. Right. Saying, help, help, help.
Right. Right. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about was ringing in the ear.
Yeah. You have it on the same side too? Mm-hmm.
Yep. It all kind of started together. The ringing, the dizziness, the numbness I didn't have till after the surgery, because he did tell me, the surgeon said that the trigeminal nerve would be affected, but he said it would come back. He said it would come back. I didn't have any permanent nerve damage. I couldn't like raise this forehead for a while, and now I finally got that back and stuff. But the ringing in the ear, and what I understand with ringing in the ear is also, it's kind of like a key on a keyboard is stuck. Mm-hmm. Same concept, right?
Yep. Yep. And that is one of the things that you'll love. One of the exercises that we'll do with the tuner for that particular area. Okay. Put the tongs on it.
Okay. Got it.
Put it on the red algorithm, which is the third algorithm. Yep. Surround that area so that this little point, the gray point on yours, is on the masseter, which is the major muscle that the trigeminal nerve is firing there.
Oh yeah, like this. Okay.
So turn it just slightly so that, that surrounds the ear.
Okay.
Yep. That's right on that muscle. And then run that red algorithm.
Okay. Ooh, can't do that while I'm on there.
It'll throw off a little bit. So it's best to, be aware of movement and stuff. But run it through that red cycle.
Okay.
Immediately run it through 3 or 4 green cycles, which are going to put things back into balance.
Okay.
So the green is the second algorithm.
Okay.
The red followed by green is a common pattern that we use for areas like the stomach. We'll use the red because it wakes up the central nervous system.
Right.
We'll use the green to put it back into balance.
Got it. Okay.
So for gastroparesis, in fact, one of the best energy management techniques for somebody who has Lyme's would be to do that technique down at the feet.
Yeah.
Put it on the red algorithm for 1 cycle, 3.5 minutes. Put it on the green cycle for another 4 cycles, because that wakes up the central nervous system and puts it into a better, even keeled balance for the day.
Awesome. Okay, good. I have to share with you that one of the gals that came to my office last week, she has GP. And I put it on her belly and she's like, whoa, she was laying down. And we did the one that I was telling you about that was really kind of had a lot of anxiety. We got her calmed down, but I put it on her belly and she's like, oh, it was fine at first. And then she started feeling sick. And then she took it home and she put it on her belly and she went to the bathroom like within minutes. And she's like, oh my gosh, I need one of these. It's helping me go to the bathroom.
That there's a video we posted on YouTube that's just specific for gastroparesis techniques, and it was fun to discover this. I was working with a good friend of mine, a doctor up in Idaho, and they called me one day. His family called me and said, he had to go have a tumor removed, but for 10 days now, his GI tract is paralyzed. He can't get anything to work right, and if you can't get the GI system to work right, you can't heal.
No.
And some of these techniques for getting the GI system came to me as I'm trying to talk them through. Here's what you should do. And so I had them, essentially wake up that area from the belly button. But we use this red code for a cycle, and then this green code for 4 more cycles. And he sent me a message the next day. He said, look, took about 15 minutes. My GI system was fully back functioning. Thank you.
Isn't that amazing? And it's funny. I did it on me the other. I don't have problems going to the bathroom, but I did it on me the other night right before I went to bed. I probably shouldn't have done that, but it made me run to the bathroom. And I was like, oh, and whatever. We won't get into that. But I'm just saying it made my stomach move.
Well, you know what? There's an awful lot of us out there that are excited to be able to have a natural method to get the stomach to work right.
Exactly. Because everything's better out than in, and I'm all about detoxing and, and that's one thing that I'm a big proponent of is detoxing. And especially with Lyme disease, especially with chronic illnesses, a lot of the function of the gut is impaired. We have tummy issues. That was one of my first symptom, if you will, of Lyme was my gut. And they said I had IBS, IBD, Crohn's, colitis. They couldn't figure out what I had. They give me some medication, calm it down for a while. And then the migraines came on, and then the joint pain, and then the flu-like symptoms, and the fibromyalgia, so it was like, but the gut is a big deal because it's a bacteria in your gut. Right. And so a lot of people experience constipation issues. And so this is a game changer. And I was so excited for my client. She was like, I went to the bathroom. I need this. And I was like, well, let's get you one. So this is amazing, Sharik. I'm so excited. I'm so blessed. I'm so excited that my coach friend shared this with me, and that her chiropractor shared it with her, which you essentially did. I'll have to get you the name and number of who that was. It was funny. I actually shared this with a couple of other chiropractors, my local one. I brought it into him and I said, you need this in your office. So you've created a little bit of a storm with me because and as you've seen on Instagram, I get something good. I can't shut up about it.
Well, that is our hopes. We're just a small company. We don't have a big marketing budget.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people sharing how it's helping them
Yeah.
is carrying it throughout the world. And we couldn't be happier. But I love the fact that, you can experience it and say, oh, wow, this helps me. You can have a client that has completely different conditions than you have and
Yeah.
still be able to help them.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. It's cool. It's all about sharing and getting people to feel better, right?
Yeah.
And if we can have you have a little bit of impact of people in this world, that's what we need right now, right? Just to
Oh,
help
I
share
agree.
things. So, anything else you want to share before we commence here that you think is really important that maybe someone needs to know?
I think, I didn't go over some of the techniques for various conditions.
Yeah.
But our YouTube channel has over 100 videos. They're
Okay.
not perfectly well organized, but you can find videos on how to turn off a migraine headache. And you can find videos on how to perform inside the mouth techniques on your TMJ, which are fantastic.
Yeah.
We have so many dentists that use our device just because it's beautiful in that area. But if you can, if a person wants to self-educate on how to be able to use our tool, we've got lots and lots of videos. And thankfully, we have lots of you professionals sharing on Instagram some of the techniques and how you're using it. And I learn techniques every day from people posting how they're using it in their clinics. So
Wow.
I think
Yeah.
this will be helpful for people.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And I'll be sure to post some, I'll be doing some videos too and see, some help you out too and share with my patients as well and see how they do over the next coming months and myself. Right. I'll share. I mean, like I said, I've only had this about a week and a half and oh, I'm so excited already. Just when I was doing just a scraping, I could feel that just talking with you. And now I want to go do this one and I want to go do a bunch. Now, one question I did have before we jumped off. So can you do too much?
So that's a great question.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have posed that question. The thing is, your nervous system can only get so much better at a time.
Yeah.
It won't for almost everybody. And a lot of doctors use this tool because when a person typically gets really fatigued in the clinic, they can't do a lot of therapies with them. So they have this concept of neurologic blowout, kind of like we throw a bunch of things at them and all of a sudden their system is saying, whoa, that's too much.
Yeah. Overload.
This is a tool that doesn't do that hardly ever. There are very few conditions that you have to go very, very slow with. These are conditions like trigeminal neuralgia, complex regional pain syndrome. So some of these real heavy duty central nervous system issues, POTS, for example, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. We have to sometimes go a little bit slow on these people because their nervous system is kind of super hyped up and it's always on the alert trying to figure out what's the next attack coming.
Yeah.
So we have to go sometimes a little bit slow to just calm down the central nervous system.
Okay.
So we have a break-in period of 3 or 4 weeks for some of these people. But for most everybody, and I would say this 90 to 95% of people, we can't figure a way to overdo it with them.
Okay.
It's only going to get so much better, and then it won't get better than that at that time. But a week later, your tolerance may be able to do even more, or you heal by increments.
Yeah, right. Makes sense. Yeah. So person, I do know a lot of Lyme people also have POTS. It's not fun. I thankfully, thank the Lord, don't have that. But it's awful, And so, with someone that has comes in my office and has some chronic things, my first reaction would go a little bit slow with them, and kind of test the waters, if you will. And maybe they won't get results right away, but I think people feel something pretty quick.
The nice thing about it too is if you do something and your nervous system says, whoa, that's too much for me, we've created a tool that you can turn down quite a bit, or put a pillow in between the device and the person. And there's all kinds of ways to still get it to function really well, even on people that are very sensitive.
Okay. I love that pillow, by the way. I use it when I'm watching TV. So when you sneeze, you get a pillow. What's that?
Our neighbor makes the pillow. Our neighbor makes the strap. She makes these cases for us.
Amazing.
We like to employ a lot of our neighbors to help us get these tools ready to help send to the world.
I love it. Homemade, made in the USA. I love it. It's like amazing. It's the funkiest little tool. If you were to see this on the shelf, you'd be like, what the heck is that? So I understand why you need, people to use it and then share it, and other clinicians and coaches and chiropractors and medical professionals, actually, it was funny. I shared with, do you know who Dr. Harmon is? Dr. John Harmon. He's out of Boise. Okay. He's a chiropractor, but he is he's actually retired from being a chiropractor. He's at the Clear Mind Center in Meridian, Idaho. Okay. And he actually has one of these. He said he met you at a convention.
Oh, you know what? I probably met him at the IASTM conference.
Yeah, Dr. John Harmon. Okay. Wonderful man. He's actually on my last podcast. But anyways, and I told, and I got one. I'm like, Dr. Harmon, you have a Clear Mind Center. He works on brain health. You need one of these. He's like, Tavi, I have one.
You would have all the best tools.
Exactly. So I was like, dang it. Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure you knew. So, yeah.
Thanks for sharing with so many people, because
welcome.
The world needs this tool. You need a tool to help you manage energy and get your pain down and get your healing to a whole new level.
Yeah. Well, and I just, as we're talking, I think about trauma, right? So much trauma, not just like physical trauma, like someone being in a car accident, right? That's a person that needs it, right? But the mental trauma, losing a loved one, there's trauma that we all deal with on a day-to-day basis. And then there's anxiety and depression and stuff. And in general, this is an amazing tool for that, all of that.
My favorite thing, we'll leave you with this today.
Okay.
My favorite thing to do for post-traumatic stress or for emotional traumas is to turn the device on, put it on the blue algorithm, which is just a very slow, long wave. Surround the heart with it and just hold it, surrounding the heart, humming, of course, engaging that vagus nerve directly. And while doing that, think of everything that you can for which you're profoundly grateful. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and just do this little meditation of thinking about things you're grateful for while energizing that heart and all its connections. It's powerful because it teaches the brain to stop focusing on what your losses are, but to focus on what your gains are.
Right. See, I teach that in my coaching about the gratefulness and saying the gratefulness every day, but this is like the added tool to it.
It just puts it on steroids. It links the thoughts to a physical stimulus that the brain can recreate because of your vagus nerve attachment there. So
you just put it right. You said you just rest it on the heart. Show me that again.
Just kind of surround the heart.
Oh, right there. Okay. Oh, my heart's on the other side there. I'm like, find your heart. Right there. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
And it is just extremely calming.
Okay. Awesome. Great tip. Oh my gosh. I'm learning so much. I just wanted to talk to you all day. There's so many things I'm sure I could learn.
Well, we'll do it again.
Yeah, this will be great. This is great. Yeah. I'm sure I'll have some other questions down the road. If they do, we can hop on the phone or something again and chat later. But thank you so much for answering all my questions today and being present for me. And I am so excited to share this with a lot of people.
Well, thank you. Thank you for doing that. And I'll hope to visit with you very soon.
Yeah. And just one last note I wanted to put out. So if anybody's interested in purchasing, there'll be a link that I'll share and then a code also that we'll share as well. And the price of the REZZIMAX again are $4.99, correct?
Yes.
Is that what they are? Okay. Per individual.
I think we made a special code for you that gives your friends and your family and clients $100 off when they order it.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much. Oh, that's wonderful of you. Okay, great. I will definitely share that. Share the love.
Awesome. Well, thank you. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you again.
You bet. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. To learn more about the topics mentioned on today's show, please visit sweetcoachtavia.com.